Alright, buckle up, because we're diving straight into this with a bit of fire, a touch of truth, and a no bullshit reality check. ADHD, it's not a lack of attention, it's a mismanagement of it. Imagine your brain as a high-performance sports car, a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, with a dodgy GPS. The car's power is off the charts, but the GPS can't keep up. It zooms from one place to another super fast, but the directions all over the place. The car itself is perfect, but if you don't know how to manage it, well, you're crashing into trees, walls, or other cars. That's ADHD. It's not a lack of attention. It's that your brain is overloaded like a race car engine, trying to run on the wrong kind of fuel. It can focus. Hell, it can hyper-focus. But if you're pointing it at the wrong things, you're just spinning your wheels. Let me give you an example. Say you're at work, right? The boss asks you to do 3 things. Your brain locks onto the one thing that excites you, completely ignores everything else. And 2 hours later, you've got a near-perfect report from a project you love. But you've missed everything else. Does that sound familiar? That's because your brain loves what it loves and can zoom in on it, like a hawk on a rabbit. But if it's boring, forget it. No amount of willpower is going to get that brain to engage. The signs don't end in childhood, they morph. This is where things get tricky, especially as you get older. The hyperactivity you might have had as a kid turns into mental restlessness, right? You start thinking at 100 miles an hour. But you're not jumping on furniture anymore. Instead, you're bouncing between projects, trying to grab hold of anything that'll keep your brain from short-circuiting. The fidgeting stops being physical and becomes emotional. Overwhelm turns into impulsivity. Like buying shit you don't need at 3 a.m. because your brain is in fight or flight mode. But the thing is, ADHD, it doesn't just magically vanish, it shifts. And people don't get diagnosed because, hell, we all think it's just adult life. And maybe you're in just a bit of a mood, but no. This is a wiring thing. The signals are just screwy. But it doesn't mean you're broken. It means the game has changed. But you haven't figured out the new rules yet. ADHD needs stimulation. Routine feels like torture. Okay, listen. If your brain was a dog, routine would be the leash. And this dog doesn't like being on a leash. It wants to chase cars, sniff out new scents, dig holes in the garden. It's just built for novelty. The second things get boring, your brain literally shuts down. It's like forcing a lion to be a house cat. It doesn't work. But here's the kicker. The right kind of stimulation. The fast-paced kind. The kind that needs your attention right now. That's where you can thrive. This is why ADHDers, they're great at things like fast-paced, deadline-driven work. Get their heart rate up and the pressure, the feedback loop, suddenly you're in the zone, like a race car on a track and everything's moving. You know when someone says something small and it stings so much, it feels like a punch in the gut? That's rejection sensitivity disorder. If you've been called overly sensitive because you burst out crying after a small criticism, or you felt your stomach drop when someone ignores you, that's not just being dramatic. That's your brain literally processing rejection, like a life or death situation. The brain's emotional center takes it as a threat, and boom, your body reacts. It's not overreacting. It's how your brain processes emotional pain. Imagine your emotional state like a thermostat. It's cranked to high. The slightest shift, and your whole system goes into crisis mode. Now I get it. You've probably had people tell you, just calm down, or don't take it personally. But they don't get it. That pain isn't imaginary, it's real. And if you keep ignoring it or suppressing it, well, that's when it starts stacking up and you find yourself in full-blown burnout mode. Entrepreneurship in ADHD is not a coincidence. This is where ADHD becomes a blessing. ADHDers, they're the perfect entrepreneurs. Why? Because they're risk takers. They're big picture thinkers who can make decisions in the face of uncertainty and still thrive. Look at it this way. Entrepreneurs jump into chaos. But ADHD, the brain is like, hey, I'm good with chaos. Bring it on. Planning, meh. But throw me into a fast-moving, creative problem-solving environment. They thrive. The best ideas come when there's no roadmap, when things are unpredictable. That's your natural zone. You're not following the rules, you're making them. Executive function is your bottleneck. Planning, prioritizing, starting tasks, yeah. That shit feels like climbing Mount Everest. You want to do it, but every step feels like your feet are stuck in cement. It's not laziness. It's that your brain's wiring doesn't quite line up with what's needed. Imagine trying to start a fire with wet wood. No matter how much you rub those sticks together, nothing is going to catch. You need the right tools to get it going. And movement. Movement is that spark. It's the match. Pacing, fidgeting, getting up, walking around. That's your brain's way of cranking up the fire. You need those tools, or it's going to stay cold. Structure can be freedom. You know how people say rules, they're made to be broken? No, for your brain, structure is freedom. It's like a GPS for that Ferrari that I mentioned earlier. Without the GPS, you're just driving in circles. With a GPS, you know where the fuck you're going. A schedule, lists, timers, on your own terms, that's the map. It doesn't restrict you. It gives you freedom to get you where you need to go without wasting energy. On the I don't know where the hell I am part, small chunks, alarms, breaks, things broken down into bite-sized tasks. Boom. That's how you build momentum and crush it. The real secret, seeing ADHD as a spectrum of strengths. Here's the thing. ADHD isn't about being broken. It's about having different wiring. You've got strengths that, if nurtured and channeled correctly, make you a fucking powerhouse. You've got creativity, drive, a love for novelty, and the ability to go full throttle when others are stuck in first gear. Own it. ADHD isn't a disease. It's a different kind of genius. But here's the kicker. If you don't embrace that, if you keep letting the world tell you there's something wrong with you, you're going to keep bumping up against the same walls. But when you see ADHD for what it is, a powerful brain that needs the right kind of care, direction, and freedom to flourish, you start to unlock everything. And if you ignore your ADHD, or let people gaslight you into thinking you're just lazy or disorganized, you're basically trapping yourself. You're playing a game where the rules don't make sense, and you keep losing. But if you embrace it, acknowledge your wiring, and use it for all the beautiful strengths it offers, that's when you become unstoppable. So what now? You've been given a Ferrari brain. Now it's time to stop trying to drive it like a Honda Civic. Learn how to manage the speed. Get the right fuel. And let the brain rip. It's not a curse. It's a superpower. And once you stop fighting it, you'll start seeing results you never imagined. Now go fucking crush it.